Nite with Kendra Dawsey. And now here's your host, Kendra Dawsey.
Hey!
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Zach? How are you holding up in week 8 of the pandemic?
Week 8 of the pandemic.
No, month eight. Sorry.
Time isn't real. It's month 8 of the pandemic. It's month 12 of the election. Who knows anymore?
Who knows? You're right. Time isn't real. Nothing's real. Doesn't matter.
Here's to that.
Cheers.
What's on your mind this week?
Well, certainly a lot has happened in the few weeks, months, or years, or decades when it comes to politics and pop culture. But in case you missed it, shortly before the presidential election, famed lyrical gremlin Lil Wayne came out in support of Donald Trump. On October 29th, Lil Wayne tweeted, "Just had a great meeting with real Donald Trump POTUS. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community the real ownership. He listened to what we had to say and assured he will and can get it done." Lil Wayne's remarks come shortly after other prominent hip-hop musicians like Kanye West and 50 Cent have expressed support for Donald Trump. That's 50 Cent being mad that Biden wanted to raise his taxes. A lot of people in the media have already spoken about how, despite their race, this group of wealthy Black men are willing to excuse racism and hatred for their class interests. And that is definitely true. However, I want to create a broader rule for anyone who is surprised or confused by the spell of Trump supporters or by blue check marks on Twitter. I have a very simple adage for you. Rich people aren't smart. Once you earn over $1 million in a fiscal year, your brain is 5 times more likely to turn to sludge. And this goes for rich white people, rich Black people, crazy rich Asians, rich liberals, rich Republicans, rich tech bros, every single person, all of them. But no one really realizes this, and especially when we talk about the media. Everyone speaks to celebrities and CEOs, and people have been given inordinate amounts of wealth and power beyond what an average person could even think of. We all expect them to be perfect role models with lots of smart ideas. It's really weird that we live in a society where if someone has a lot of money, we automatically look up to them on issues that have nothing to do with money. In a non-capitalist world, we would not be seeking guidance from Lil Wayne or Brad Pitt or Deborah Messing regarding political issues. The idea of what it means to be a celebrity is wrapped up in so much in capitalism. We put people on a pedestal, give them tons of money so that they are beyond out of touch with the average person, ask them about something they wouldn't know about, and then they get surprised when they say something stupid. J.K. Rowling wrote a series of children's books. Why do we have to listen to her thoughts on trans people? You expect a rich, isolated group of people to be ethical, smart, and pretend to like Taylor Swift at dinner parties? It's not possible. It just really isn't possible. Obviously, it's fun to read about celebrities to distract yourself from existential dread of the modern era. I love reading about things that dumb people say in general, even if it's not a famous person, but it's usually funnier when they embarrass themselves in front of millions of fans. However, being famous or rich or a source of entertainment is not the same thing as having good ideas. In fact, I would argue that having more money makes you have really bad ideas, like Bill and Melinda Gates sponsoring a Guardian op-ed about the benefits of child labor. So, in summary, not all rich people protect their class interest. They aren't inherently cool or funny because they're in a movie you like, or they're really cool on Twitter, and your friends probably have better ideas about how to run the world. Stop listening to rich people. They do nothing for you. Thank you. All right. And I think after this, we have a video from our corporate sponsors, Zach, actually. We do. All right, let's see it.
Hey folks, Zach here. I want to talk to you about one of our sponsors today, GoonHub, a great new app on the marketplace. Say you've got a little bit of a project you're working on and you need a guy to do something for you who's going to be discreet and not ask a lot of questions. It can sometimes be hard to find the right person, and when you do, the prices they'll ask is outrageous. But not anymore, thanks to the new app GoonHub. In just a few minutes, you will be searching through a number of goons, wise guys, jamokes, mooks, hired hands who are willing to do what you need and keep their yap shut. You may be thinking, is this a legal service? Well, thank you to the Proposition 22 initiative in California, which now that it has passed, allows us to make independent contractors through an app do pretty much whatever we can get somebody to sign up for. So if you've got a problem with somebody who's not keeping their mouth shut, or you know of a business where something might be a little bit of a shame if something happened to it, you know the exact service you need to use. Use GoonHub today. Download today and use the promo code LEFTNIGHT for 50% off the first time you need some sanitation work done. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? We're talking about murder and racketeering. But it's all okay because of Prop 22. And, we hold no responsibility, and neither do you. There's no labor laws anymore. Anyway, check out GoonHub today. How's it going?
Yeah, I don't know who keeps signing us up for these different services that we're doing the commercials for, but hey.
Yeah, we're getting in with like the mob, lawn signs. It's confusing, but you know what?
This is a high budget show. Somebody's got to pay these bills.
Obviously, you see this bed behind me. This is a very fancy bed.
Oh, really? This crappy apartment wall is it's a green screen. I'm actually in somewhere very nice, but I've green screened it over
for the aesthetic,
yeah, which is it's very expensive. It's very expensive to do this.
Yeah, we had that entire thing about how you shouldn't listen to rich people just so we could hide that we're rich. Yeah. So,
but we're very bad at spending our money, which is why we spend it on this show.
Exactly.
Okay. You want to cover some of the fun stuff that happened this week?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the fun stuff that happened this week.
All right, we're going to go through a review of the week. And those of you in the chat, if you think something happened this week that we just got to cover and talk about, go ahead and throw that down there in the chat. We would love to cover whatever is on your mind. First of all, Kendra, it's International Men's Day.
Oh, wow.
And how did you celebrate?
How did I celebrate International Men's Day today? I did work. You might be the first man I spoke to today, actually.
Okay.
That's one celebration, I guess. I spoke to a man.
Only speaking to one man all day that's pretty good.
Did you do anything special for your big day, International Men's Day?
Yeah, I Googled when is International Women's Day.
Okay.
Because I'm a good ally.
A true ally. Thank you so much.
True ally. That's my favorite thing about international. More people Google when is International Men's Day on International Women's Day than they do actually on the day.
Yeah, because of course,
because they don't. Nobody cares. It's all about it's all about the women have something.
The men also need a day.
Yeah.
To continue benefiting from patriarchy. Yeah. What else happened this week?
Well, COVID continues to be a thing. We have not, believe it or not, we haven't gotten over it. There was the first cruise ship launched since lockdowns back in March. The first cruise ship launched, and you want to take a guess as to what happened?
No one got this airborne virus, and everyone had a great time.
Yes. Oh yeah, very close. Actually, within a day, 5 people had been tested positive, and within 2 days, the captain did as well.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. So that's why you don't go on a cruise ship. Cruise ships are just like petri dishes with alcohol.
I don't understand. Like I know like every industry is like fighting as hard as they can to legitimize themselves and be like, oh, it actually matters, whether or not people can go to Chuck E. Cheese right now. It's whatever industry is hurting and needs to be essential. I don't understand who is this fun for?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably couples trying to spice up their life. I don't know. last time I was on a cruise, I was a toddler and held there against my will. So I really don't understand.
I went on a cruise in my 20s, and it's just there's nothing to do. You just get drunk, and then unless you're like rich enough to have one of the rooms that faces like the side of the boat, you're just in the middle. So you just like get too drunk, and then you sleep until 3, like because it's complete pitch black in your cabin, and then you're just like, oh well, I just spent a lot of money to have a 12-hour sleep. Okay.
Yeah, I could overdrink and sleep until 3 at home. Okay. In fact, I do frequently.
Yeah.
We have some people talking about stuff in the chat. One thing I noticed, apparently Rudy Giuliani is leaking sticky brown fluid. Could anyone verify this?
Yeah, yes. So I saw this earlier today. Apparently he got like a bad dye job before he appeared in court. And there's just like hair dye going down like it almost looks like he's either like a pop star with a microphone, like one of those microphones on the side of their face, or like he has like half of like a really bad facial hair look. Like the man is falling apart.
Yeah, he has been so embarrassing for so long. The way leaking sticky brown fluid, the way that was described. There we go. Yeah, okay. That makes it sound like he's like being decomposed by a mushroom, which like I feel like that could still be happening, but yeah, he should probably, fix that. He's probably.
I just think it's funny that he's like, oh, I look like a dog shit goblin, but I'm just one good, like just the little bit of hair I have left. If that just looks a different color, I will look presentable in a courtroom.
Yeah, if that looks a different color, then I'll know the definition of opacity. Yeah, that's what he looks like, man. God damn. That is something else.
Yeah, so I guess they're still trying to create as many weird court cases as possible to do so. There was also today one of the other. I try for my own sanity not to remember these people's names.
I understand.
But there was some lawyer lady in a leopard print cardigan, saying that the election stealing software that the Democrats are using was manufactured by Hugo Chavez.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would, okay, you know what? Honestly, I would love to sign up for the Hugo Chavez like freaking coding camp.
Right. I would be so happy if the Democrats took one thing from Hugo Chavez, and if it was some weird election software, because Hugo Chavez gets shit done.
Yeah.
Or he did. That's the thing is that he is long deceased. There's a weird conspiracy about maybe the U.S. gave him cancer that I don't know enough about that I'm not going to get into. But he has been deceased for about 8 years now, and
he'll be running a coding camp. I mean, if Rudy Giuliani looks like he came back from the dead every single day, why not Hugo Chavez?
Right? Yes, why not?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Things that people are mentioning over in the chat. There's a CBS announced that they'll cast at least 50% people of color on their reality shows, because true equality is when you also like see people of color stranded on an island or forced to date Flavor Flav,
Yeah. I think it's good if more of that Viacom money is created by the labor of people of color.
Of course, yeah.
When only white people make money for Viacom, that's not equality. That's not justice.
That's not. You're so right. I mean, I can't even front. I do watch some reality shows. I will say, I think one of the most diverse reality shows I ever did watch was Flavor of Love, even though it is so problematic. But if we're judging it based on diversity, lots of diversity.
CBS also has a show called The Neighborhood. I don't know if you're familiar with the sitcom.
No.
but it's a wacky, fun take on gentrification. It's about these dorky white people who move into a black neighborhood, and there's hijinks.
Yeah, there's police being called on a black person sitting outside. That's what the hijinks are.
Right. Well, they did it. They tried to do an episode because it comes on after Jeopardy, so I watch the first 15 minutes of it sometimes.
Yeah.
And they tried to do an episode about police brutality, but like it's still CBS, so they can't. They just didn't know where to, they can't make the police too bad because that's
here we go. Oh wow. Oh God. Okay.
Cedric the Entertainer. He is not happy.
Man, I hope he cashes that check. God.
I hope he gets a check too. But it's just very funny. Like a channel that like 40% of all their shows are cop shows. So like they have to like make the cops bad. The cops do bad things, but not so bad that you shouldn't watch NCIS. You gotta have some pro cop propaganda. So CMAC390 said, wait, don't skip Splat's comment about Obama unsuccessfully pretending to be a leftist to pick up politics. It's on the list.
This is already on our list.
We got to talk about it though.
We got to talk about it. I literally texted Zach once I saw that screenshot, like Obama read Marx to try to get his dick wet and see where it got all of us. Look at where it got all of us, right?
Like socialist.
Yeah. Okay. So Zach, what do you consider yourself? A long-legged socialist, an ethereal bisexual who wears mostly black, or a smooth-skinned sociology major?
I think I got to be the long-legged socialist.
I think I'm also the long-legged socialist.
But we're all one of those three, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I wear mostly black, and I never took sociology, but I do have pretty smooth skin. Like, that's the thing. But yeah, Obama has written a memoir.
The third one, I believe.
Yes, he's written a lot of memoirs. This is his third one. He was like, you know what? Like, Biden's about to take the presidency. Why not release this memoir about how, about how I just keep destroying the Democratic Party or whatever. He has a few excerpts from the novel have come out. One is about how in college he read Marx and Frantz Fanon, who's like a very big like anti-colonialist writer, try to hit on girls in his college dorm.
Now, do we think he actually? So we're the Mark. People should read Fanon, and people should read some of the other writers who were referenced there. Yeah. But if we want to just dial it in specifically, do we think that Obama read Marx, or do you think he lied about it to try to get some?
So I've read other things about Obama. It did seem like he read a lot of books. Obviously, he read a lot of books for pussy, but it did seem like he actually read the books. Yeah. So I believe that he read Marx. Obviously, he did not take it to heart. Obviously he didn't take Fanon to heart. He wasn't like, oh wow, this is such a great talking about blacks, white skin, black mask, or black skin, white mask. Wow, this is great. Let me drone bomb Afghanistan. That's not the point of the book. He didn't internalize anything, but it seems like he did actually read a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't seem like it worked either. It did not seem like he fucked.
I think he said that he remained in chaste but affectionate friendships with all of these women.
I bet all of those. I bet a lot of them probably grew up to be Harvard graduate reactionaries. But I bet a lot of them are just sitting at home watching him give speeches. Did you even read what I told you to read?
This motherfucker's so annoying. This person has been so annoying.
We got in the chat. He skimmed for trim.
I was just about to point that out. Thank you, Zach. Our Raj Andelman, he skimmed for trim. True. That's the President of the United States. Everyone.
He also compared Brazilian President Lula to a Tammany Hall gangster.
Yeah.
which a man who he later rubber stamped the coup against, that ultimately led to Bolsonaro being in power now.
Yeah.
I
he
I would not insult Lulu further. You've already fucked up the country of Brazil enough.
I know. Yeah, that. And I think he also said, like, oh, I felt really bad, like, killing people through, like, ordering people to be murdered through, like, drone strikes and stuff. But if I didn't do it, then the Republicans would make fun of me. Like, there's a lot of things he said in the book. If you want to read about, you know, like, America's imperialism and stuff from, like, from the viewpoint of the person who ran the country for 8 years, go ahead. I'm always going to make fun of him for saying ethereal bisexual, and nothing will.
That'll be the biggest takeaway. I do think it's funny that that Republicans thought that, like, Obama was going to make everybody, like, socialist with his agenda.
Yeah.
And in a roundabout way, he did, because if I could, like, put my radicalization on one figure in particular, it was that I was a liberal who thought Obama was going to fix things. And then when he did nothing to fix any of the problems of the country, that was sort of that, like if this charismatic, like, beloved figure can't do shit to stop the problems of capitalism, that's when I became aware, oh, wait, nobody can. This thing is rotten to the core. So he really did radicalize me, but not in nearly the way that any of the Republicans thought that he would.
Yes. Yeah. I think I'm probably the same. I remember, because I was too young to vote for Obama the first time, but I remember already by the second time, I, like, begrudgingly voted for him, but I was like, America fucking sucks. Like, I was like, I'm so mad at this country. Like, down with imperialism, down with colonialism. And in those 4 years, that's what happened.
When he won in 2008, I jumped in the reflecting pool at the Christian Science Center in downtown Boston, and I am not proud of that.
Well, was it a fun splash?
I mean, it was fun splashing around with everybody. If I knew that what was coming, I would not have gotten that excited.
That's right. You heard it here from Zach, everyone. Zach was patient zero in the coronavirus nearly 12 years ago by being.
All right, well, let's cut to our other video.
All right, that was a cute little commercial break. Now we're going to wrap up with some closing words from Zach.
Okay, thank you. So hi everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We're going to take next week off. We will not be having an episode next week because we want to stick around and make sure that enough bad things happen so we'll have time to fill a 30-minute slot 2 weeks from now. I'm just kidding. We're taking off for Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving next weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. So personally, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because of the eating and the drinking and the football and such and such. And even in a limited year like this, where COVID will hold back a lot of the activities, I will still have a chance to eat and drink and watch football. And I know that a lot of people don't necessarily like Thanksgiving, and I am sympathetic to that idea because at its root, sort of the way that we portray Thanksgiving is to paper up the genocide of an indigenous population. And we learned that, like, the Pilgrims and the Native Americans were sitting at a table together eating food, and they called the corn maize. And then we don't really talk about what happened after that. And we don't even really talk about what happened before that either, because I remember as a kid learning, like, oh, there was this Native American named Squanto, and he was the one who bridged the two cultures because he could speak both English and the Wampanoag language. And in my head, I was always like, wait a minute, how did Squanto know English to begin with? And then as I got older, I looked up the story, and surprise, it has to do with slavery, and it's very much a bummer, but you can go read it if you'd like to. So I understand that things are bad. Thanksgiving, on that level, it's not great. But I would say a couple of things to that. First of all, there are no good American holidays. Every American, morally, there's something wrong with most American holidays. Like we have Thanksgiving, of course, it celebrates, early Americans killing brown people, essentially. But then we also have like Columbus Day, which is a pre-American killing brown people. And then we have Veterans Day, which is not exclusively, but largely Americans killing brown people. And then there's Memorial Day, which is a solemn day of remembrance of the times that the brown people shot back. And then there's Martin Luther King Day, which is one of the few brown people that we do feel bad about the fact that we killed, but not so bad that certain states don't pair his birthday with the birthday of various Confederate generals. And then we have Independence Day and President's Day, which honor the country and its leaders, which, as we have covered soup to nuts the entire time, we're pretty psyched about killing brown people. So if we add that up, that's 7 of the 10 federal holidays that are related to killing brown people. And if you want to include an 8th one, a lot of offices in this country do take off for Good Friday, which is also about the white people who killed a brown guy. So we have 3 federal holidays that are not genocide related. We have New Year's Day, which is it's a new calendar year. That's like the participation trophy of holidays. It's happening because it's happened. We have Labor Day, which only exists as a compromise to America's working class, so they wouldn't celebrate the dirty commie holiday of May Day, but then was actually a ruse because it turned out instead of getting the day off, most people in the working class had to instead sell mattresses for 50% off. And that just leaves one holiday left that we haven't covered, which is Christmas. Christmas is nominally a Christian holiday, but has grown instead to embody America's true religion of consumerism. And that's the sort of dichotomy that makes me like Thanksgiving so much. Because there are no other days of the year where American culture encourages any sort of self-reflection about what you have, about what you're doing, about the graces you've been given. In a culture that constantly tells you to get more because you don't have enough, it's refreshing to have one day where we're told to stop and count our blessings. It's the one day where we think about those less fortunate than us, and we're not told to be thinking about those less fortunate than us so we can figure out how to better exploit them. And when I say it's the one day, I really mean it's one friggin' day, because before their tummies are even done digesting the mashed potatoes, we're telling the retail workers to start lining up because at midnight, they got to start selling some discount electronics. So as far as I'm concerned, the people who associate Thanksgiving with pilgrims are either absolute weirdos, first graders, or the people who work as reenactors at Plymouth Plantation. And I don't want to associate with any of those. I try my best not to, but if you really do feel sympathetic for the struggle of the indigenous people, there's a lot you can do more than just hating Thanksgiving. For instance, I'm going to donate to the Navajo Defense Fund, because as bad as the COVID numbers are going to get post-Thanksgiving for the entire U.S., they're going to be significantly worse for those who live on reservations. I have a personal soft spot for the Navajo Nation, but there's any number of tribes you can look up who will be looking for some help in that regard. So that's just all I wanted to say. I want to say have a happy Thanksgiving, stay safe. Remember, cook your bird for 20 minutes per pound. The stuffing that goes inside the bird is not the same as the stuffing that you serve, and that presidential pardoning of turkeys only took on its modern incarnation to deflect from the pardoning of Oliver North during the Iran-Contra. And be sure to take time not just to be thankful, but to think about how you can help those less fortunate than you. Whether they're exploited populations, whether they're overworked retail employees, or maybe Ronald Reagan burning in hell as turkeys peck him for an eternity. Well, maybe don't try to help him, but the other two. Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, everyone. Stick around for Quarantine Action Wrestling. Yeah.